Hey, how you doing? My name is Angela Fagg with Messengers of Truth. I wanted to show you my new chickens since I decided to let them outside. And we might be getting some cool skies right now, so I figured we would do that. I will be coming back on at 8:30, so I'm going to do this the best I can. Hold on. This thing's all wobbly. Those are my little chickens. You got Whitey and Brownie. I haven't named the other two. They're still just little babies. They just had their first bit of greens for the first time. They don't know what to do. They've only been outside for a little bit today. I brought them out here because the cage I had them in is just too small for them. And if you saw how big the cage was, you'd be like, that's too small for them. Look, I'm not an abusive animal owner. So that's my guys right there. It's my ladies. My ladies. See, I was afraid to take them out because of that hawk that comes through. And I'm afraid she's going to snatch them up, but I can't stay scared forever. Let me back out so you can see them. And I opened the door, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes ago to the coop to see if they would come out because I wanted them to be comfortable outside. And then the other chickens not to mess with them. I don't know if you can hear the neighbor dog. Her name is Chloe. I just wanted to show you guys my chickens. And then the sky is, it's probably about to change a whole bunch of neat colors, I'll tell you that. I'll be right back. See, rooster's right there eating blueberries and greens. She didn't have none this morning. So I want to tell you about my chicken coop. Okay? I'm going to tell you about my chicken coop. Hold on. I'll lose you. I didn't twist the little thingy. So, and I forgot to put my banners up. Whatever. So this chicken coop was not a chicken coop. I actually bought it for a greenhouse way before I had chickens. I had bought it because every time I put a garden outside, it was either they were burning up, they just weren't wanting to live on the section that I had them in. So I figured if I got a greenhouse, that will protect them from the chemicals and stuff that the government puts in the air. Well, Red, she's way over there. Red was the first one that showed up. And she showed up when I was out here actually watering the garden that I still had parts of it left. And I was out here watering it. And Jimmy was messing with the dogs. And all of a sudden, and you might want to move, Jimmy. I know you don't want to be on camera. But right here, you see like right in this area right here, Red just showed up. And Duke, my dog that's no longer with us, he actually had her in his mouth. And I was like freaking out. So I got her out of his mouth and I'm like, what the hell? Where'd this chicken come from? Jimmy's like, I don't know. It just was there in his mouth. And I'm like, okay. So I took his dog kennel, brought it outside, put the sheet in there, put some water in there, and the next day, I read up on chickens, and I'm like, well, we have to go buy some chickens now because it says that she'll get lonely if she doesn't have other chickens. Now, mind you, at this time, I'm absolutely like petrified of these birds, okay? So I'm having to be forced to take care of them. So I get the 4 other chickens. One of them died just a few months ago. I get the 4 other chickens. I get them set up in the room. Red's just a little bit bigger than them. She's like an adolescent, about the size of these ones right here. And I just took care of them, you know. Just, hold on, this will look better if I turn the light on. Be surprised. You see? So I was taking care of them, and I bought this. We bought this ginormous room for them, but at first I just had them in the dog kennel. So 2 weeks later, I'm sitting at my coffee table and I'm looking out. At this time, this privacy fence over here, my hand's not in that one right there. It wasn't there. That was a chain link fence. So I'm sitting in there and I look out and I'm like, you gotta be shitting me. There's another chicken that looks exactly like the other one that showed up here. But it's pacing the fence in the neighbor's yard. First, it was at the little corner where it couldn't get into the neighbor's yard, and it was trying to get into my yard. And I'm like, what in the hell? So I watch it, and it's just pacing back and forth. Finally, I go out there, and I'm like, my neighbors are out. And they're like, oh, you want me to get the chicken for you? And I was like, yes, yes, please. So I go and I get a box and I get a towel and wrangle that chicken up. And I'm like, I cannot believe this is happening. So I get her and I put her in there and I let her see the other chickens in a clear container. You know, I had her in this clear container so they can see each other. Do you know she didn't calm down until I got her in there to see those other chickens? It was like she was meant to be here. It was really strange. So mind you, we had them in our spare room because they were just little then. Well, the hurricane came, and luckily I had this greenhouse. It's called the King Bird Greenhouse. Not kidding you, okay? Because we needed to get them out of the house. We had no electricity inside. We had no way to wash the floors. We had no way to do anything. I needed to get them out of the house so they could be in here, which I was afraid of because of Bill Gates. And you're like, afraid of because of Bill Gates? Get some education in you and you'll know who Bill Gates really is. So we got them out here, and it's just a greenhouse. So it's see-through plastic. So the next day after the hurricane, after we got the yard cleaned up, Jimmy got out there. He put this thing together, and it was just, let me see. It was just, you see that green thing right there? You see that? That's the topper to the greenhouse, because I will lower the sides down when it starts to get, you see what I did there? So anyways, what I did was I just kept them in the greenhouse and I kept the doors down. Well, it was getting too hot in there for them because I live in Southwest Florida. So I took some packing blankets and I put it up underneath, because this stuff always happens when Jimmy's not here. So I get the packing blankets up there. Now I've made them shade in there. Well, I'm like, look, Jimmy, we're going to have to put up a little section over here so we can let them out in the yard, because they're just ruining these screens. They're jumping at them. They want to get out. They don't want to be in that little area. So we're like, okay, well, what are we going to do to the sides of it, right? So then we got that farm gate. You see that farm gate? We got some farm gate like that, and we put it up around the outside. And we didn't, we had this gate. Look, let me show you again. You see that gate right there? That gate? Well, that came into our yard. Oh, it didn't do it. That came into our yard from the hurricane. So I repurposed it, and we bought, well, before we didn't buy them, we actually, anyways, we used these other poles that we had off of some, what is that called? Those crates, those wooden crates. my husband's dad actually got these really nice wooden crates with these nice beams in it. So we used those. And we put them in there, used them for years. And we put the gate up there so it'll be enclosed. Well, that farm gate was too wide at the bottom. Because if you notice, hold on. If you notice, this thing didn't do it again. If you notice, hold on. You see right here, this is smaller. And that means that snakes and stuff can't get in there. So, and we just recently did that because we kept it the other way for a long time because they were pretty all right over there, but there's been weird shit going on in Florida. So I wanted to get something that was going to protect them from snakes getting in there at night or whatever, because I put heaters out here for them. Animal heaters is what they are. They're lights, but I got the ones that don't give any lights off. It's just heat that comes out of the bulb. Because I make sure that they're perfectly comfortable all the time, because that's my job as a human. And when I decide to take animals, then I need to take care of them to the fullest, not just part way. And that's why in the morning I give them kale and blueberries. And then, well, this morning I didn't have any kale, so tonight they got some salad. I give them mixed greens this time because you got to change it up on them so they don't get bored. And blueberries, I buy frozen. Damn it. They're frozen blueberries, but it's a certain kind. They're like caught in the wild or some shit. And it's cheaper to buy them frozen. And I haven't found any plastic ones in them yet. So this coop was just a greenhouse. And then I want to show you this. So on the front and the back during the summertime, it gets so hot that we put up these are small 1-inch PVC, or whatever it's called. Anyways, so there's 3 feet extenders on it, so they have a porch because of the way the rain is in Florida. And we also did the other one on that side. This actual tarp right here is the first one that we ever bought. Actually ordered it online to be the exact size. Jimmy measured it wrong, so it's too short, and that's why I kept the other tarp in the underneath there, is because the rain just goes completely sideways. It just goes completely sideways. So I want to make sure when it's raining that the chickens are safe in there and they're not getting completely soaked out. So this is our put together. Now I want to show you this because I have the tarp on it. I need to have enough something to hold the weight in. So on the inside of the coop, I actually have tied to the metal part in 2 spots, diagonal from each other. I have these, hold on, sorry. I don't know if you can see it that well. Let me zoom in. You see that? That's for your dog. That's to hold your, those chain things that hold your dog in the ground. Well, they hold 40 pounds. They have a 40-pound weight to them. So what we did is we put 4 on each side. So if the wind came or anything, and that rope is also, I think it's 70-pound weight on it. So we doubled it up, and then we used the dog things to hold it down. So when the wind comes through here, it doesn't do so bad. But if a hurricane comes, hold on, you got to see this. If a hurricane comes, it's so easy to take down. And then because we have attached ropes to it on the inside, we just take all the stuff off the outside and bring that into the garage. And I have a special fencing. You can look at one of my other videos that showed it. I kept fencing in there that I can open it up and make them a little space in there, and I put sand on the floor because usually it's only a day or two that they have to be in there. Try to get them out right as soon as possible. And that looked pretty cool. Go back some so you can see that it's only a little Lone Ranger. Let me go all the way around. I don't know if I can keep going around in this, but we're gonna try. Oh, look at that. That was behind me. Well, we're moving. You see, Florida, we always, not always, but a good 9 times out of 10, we get a nice good sky. See, the sun's starting to go down, so we get all the pretty colors when there's clouds, but there's not always clouds. You know, the sun is over here. That's just a reflection right there. So you can actually see it right there. I don't know if my fingers weren't right there. That's the sun. Doesn't that kind of look like Jesus? I'm just saying. Right there. Might kind of. Oh! Anyways. But I just wanted to, you know, come on and tell you about my little chickens I got. And that's pretty much about it. That looks kind of cool behind me. We're just going to go fast. Well, look at that. See, you guys can't see it like I see it. Whoa. Kind of looks cool. So it changed. I'll tell you, I don't know how God does it, but it's freaking awesome. Now, we got a couple hours, and I will be doing a screw tape letter, and we'll go from there. I didn't get to make the video today because I don't want to do anything half-ass, and the sound would have been extremely horrible, and I just figured Jimmy is going to work on it, and we'll have it by this weekend, and that's when we'll do it, is on Saturday, like afternoon sometime, okay? So I will see you in a couple of hours. I hope you appreciate the tour of the chicken coop. All right? You have until later. Bye.